Shalom, everybody. What up, what up? Welcome back to Reading with SHILO. Welcome to this next session of Reading with SHILO. I'm SHILO. I'm home. Shiloheimer. The destroyer of worlds is back. I'm out here, baby. We about to get started on chapter 3 and chapter 4 of part 2 of Ms. Zora Neale Hurston's book, Mules and Men. Since I didn't get it in this morning, man, I was up all night whittling and carving chess pieces. So, man, we're going to go ahead and get it in. We're going to go ahead and get in right quick because 3 and 4 shouldn't be long. 3 and 4 are long. We'll go ahead and hit that up and see what Miss Zora has to say about hoodoo. The hoodoo that they do down in the NO. We almost done with the book. We got about in total maybe 5 chapters left. About 5 chapters in total. And we'll be finished with Ms. Zora Neale Hurston's book. And she has some other ones. And this one was pretty funny. It's just the only issue. It's not an issue. The issue would be with me and my reading. It's not necessarily the issue with the book. I know I'm going to come across many books that won't read the way I would like it to or the way I think it should. But I have to read it the way it is written. And reading it the way it is written is where I don't want to say the problem lies, but where the stumbling block may be. It is for me sometimes, especially when I want to read it a certain type of way. I want to have clarity, you know. I definitely want to give it some pizzazz. some oomph in it, something, but hey, but as we go, the more books that I read, then the more verse will be in the different I guess types of dialects that can be written about, because there's old time slave talk, boy. Sometimes I could flow with it, and when I can flow with it, oh man, it rolls good. But welcome, shalom everybody, welcome in. We're gonna get started. Like, comment, say what's up in the chat, let me know where you're from, where you at, and we're gonna get jumping on Miss Zora Neale Hurston's Mules and Men. What up? I'm ready to cut up and read. Chapter 3, part 2, hoodoo. We're going to see what the hoodoo that they do. Hoodoo. I don't know yet. We're going to see how it go. Chapter 3, part 2, hoodoo. Anatole Pierre of New Orleans was a middle-aged octoroon. He is a Catholic and lays some feeble claim to kinsman with Marie Laveau. He had the most elaborate temple of any of the practitioners. His altar room was off by itself and absolutely sacrosanct. He made little I am tripping right now. He made little difficulty about taking me after I showed him that I had worked with others. Pierre was very emotional, and sometimes he would be sharp with his clients, indifferent as to whether they hired him or not. But he quickly adjusted himself to my being around him, and at the end of the first week, began to prepare me for the crown. The ceremony was as follows. On Saturday, I was told to have the materials for my initiation bath ready for the following Tuesday at 11 o'clock. I must have a bottle of lavender toilet water, Jap honeysuckle perfume, and orange blossom water. I must get a full bunch of parsley and brew it. a full bunch of parsley, and brew a pint of strong parsley water. I must have a hand sugar, salt, and Vacher balm. 2 long pink candles must be provided, one to be burned at the initiation, one to be lit on the altar for me in Pierre's secret room. He came to my house in Belleville Court at the 11:15 to see if I was all right. The tub was half filled with warm water, and Pierre put in all of the ingredients, along with a handful of salt and 3 tablespoons of sugar. The candles had been dressed on Saturday, and one was already burning on the secret altar for me. The other long pink candle was rolled around the tub 3 times. In nomine partia et filia et spiritus sanctus. Amen. Shit, I don't know if I should have read that. Don't have me doing no rituals. That sounds like that shit in the exorcism where the little dude be the spiritus sanctus, throwing the holy water and shit. Don't have me doing them. Then it was marked for a 4-day burning and lit. The spirit was called 3 times. Kind spirit, whose name is Moccasin, answer me. This I was told to repeat 3 times, snapping my fingers. Then I, already prepared, stepped into the tub and was bathed by the teacher. Particular attention was paid to my head and back and chest, since there the controls lie. While in the tub, my left little finger was cut a little, and his finger was cut in the blood bond made. Now you are of my flesh and of my spirit, and neither one of us will ever deny you. He dried me, and I put on new underwear, bought for the occasion, and dressed with the oils of geranium. Geranium, is that a plant? That's a flower. I think I heard about it. A geranium? A geranium. 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 Let's see what it is. A geranium. Geranium. What could you be? Geranium. J-E-R-A. J-E-R-A. Geranium, a plant having brightly colored flowers and pungent smelling leaves. A geranium. I wish I had my flower book so I can look and see what it looked like. A geranium. And dressed with oils of geranium, and was told to stretch upon the couch and read the 3rd chapter of Job, night and morning for 9 days. I was given a little Bible that had been visited by the Spirit and told the names of the spirits to call for any kind of work I might want to perform. I am to call on great Moccasin for all kinds of power, and also to have him stir up the particular spirit I may need for a specific task. I must call on Kangaroo to stop worrying, call on Genepi spirit for marriages, call on Death spirit for killing, and the 17 quarters of spirit to aid me if one spirit seems insufficient. I was told to burn the marked candle every day for 2 hours, from 11 till 1 in the northeast corner of the room. While it is burning, I must go into the silence and talk to the spirit through the candle. On the 5th day, Pierre called again, and I resumed my studies. But now, as an advanced pupil, in the 4 months that followed, these are some of the things I learned from him. A man called Musty Ivans came running to Pierre soon after my initiation was over. Pierre looked him over with some instinctive antipathy. Excuse me. So he wouldn't help him out by asking questions. He just let Mr. Mutsy tell him the best way he could. So he began by saying, "A lot of hurting things have been done to me, Pierre, and now it's done got to the place I'm scared for my life." "That's a lie." "Yes," Pierre snapped. "Nah, it ain't," Mutsy insisted. "I done found things round my doorstep and in my yard, and I knows who's done it to." "Yes, you find things in your yard because you continue to sleep with the wife of another man, and you are afraid because he has said that he will kill you if you don't leave her alone." Oh, the things of messing with messing with another man's wife. You're crazy to think that you can lie to me. Tell me the truth, and then tell me what you want me to do. "I want him out the way, killed, because he swear he's going to kill me. And since one of us got to die, I'd rather it be him than me." "I knew you wanted a death the minute you got in here. I don't like to work for death. Please, Pierre, I'm scared to walk the streets after dark, and me and the woman done gone too far to turn back. And he got the consumption now, know how. But I don't want to die before he do. I'm a well man." That's enough about that. How much money have you got? $200. $250 is my terms, and I ain't a bit anxious for a job at that. Pierre turned to me and began to give me a list of things to get for my own use, and seemed to forget the man behind him. "Maybe I can get that other $50, or maybe not. These ain't no easy times, and money is tight." "Well, goodbye. We're busy folks here, and you don't have to do this thing anyway. You can just leave town." "And leave my good trucking business? That'll never happen. I can go get your money. When you gonna do the work, you pay the money and go home. It's not for you to know how and when the work is done. Go home with faith." The next morning soon, Pierre sent me out to get a beef brain and a beef tongue, a beef heart, and a live black chicken. When I returned, we had prepared a jar of bad vinegar. We wrote Mutsy's image name 9 times on a slip of paper. He split open the heart, placed the paper in it, pinned up the opening with 18 steel needles, and dropped into the jar of vinegar, point downward. The main altar was draped in black, and the crudely carved figure of death was placed upon it to shield us from the power of death. Black candles were lit on the altar. A black crown was made and placed on the head of death. The name of the man to die was written on paper 9 times and placed on the altar 1 degree below death, and the jar containing the heart was set on this paper. The candles burned for 12 hours. Then Pierre made a coffin 6 inches long. I was set out to buy a small doll. It was dressed in black to represent the man and placed in the coffin with the name under the doll. The coffin was left open upon the altar. Then we went out far out on a lonely spot and dug a grave which was much larger than and wider than the coffin. A black cat was placed in the grave, and the hole covered with the cloth. A black cat? He put a whole black cat in there? Alive? Was he alive? Was he dead? That's what I want to know. A black cat was placed in the grave, and the hole covered with a cloth that was fastened down so that the cat could not get out. Yeah, that thing was alive. The black chicken was then taken from its confinement and fed a half glass of whiskey, in which a paper had been soaked that bore the name of the man who was to die. The chicken was put in with the cat and left there for a full month. The night after the entombment of the cat and the chicken, we began to burn the black candles. 9 candles were set to burn in the barrel, and every night at 12 o'clock, we would go to the barrel and call upon the spirit of death to follow the man. The candles were dressed by biting off the bottoms, as Pierre called for vengeance. Then the bottom was lighted instead of the top. At the end of the month, the coffin containing the doll was carried out to the grave of the cat and the chicken and buried upon their remains. A white bouquet was placed at the head and foot of the grave. The beef brain was placed on a plate with 9 hot peppers around it to cause insanity and brain hemorrhages, and placed on the altar. The tongue was slit, the name of the victim inserted, and the slit was closed with a pack of pins and buried in the tomb. The black candles must burn for 90 days. 90 days, damn. It's a whole lot of candles. Pierre told me he cannot live. No one can stand that. Every night for 90 days, Pierre slept in his holy place in a black draped coffin, and the man died. Man, that's a lot of damn work for $250, man. That's a lot. 90 days worth of work. You got to go get a chicken, a black cat, all type of parsley, water. You know, you're making gumbo. But 90 days of lighting candles for $250. Boy, ain't enough money for that. Ain't enough money for that. Kill a nigga for $250. Boy. You gotta go buy the beef tongue, the beef heart. All that costs money. $250. I wonder if that came out there $250. Or did he make Zora go buy it just as like a, because she's an initiate? You know how they do when you are the new person, the rookie. When you the rookie, you gotta go buy all the stuff. Maybe you're doing Zora like that. Every night for 90 days, Pierre slept in his holy place in a black draped coffin, and the man died. Another conjure doctor solicited trade among Pierre's clients, and his boast of power and his belittling comments of Pierre's power vexed him. So he said to me one day, "That fellow's boasts too much. Yes, maybe if I send him a swelling, he won't be out on the banquet dragging this so much." So Pierre took me with him to steal a new brick. We took the brick home and dressed 9 black candles by writing the offensive doctor's name on each. His name was written 9 times on a piece of paper and placed face down on the brick. It was tied there securely with twine. When put the black candles to burn, one each day for 9 days. We put the black candles each to burn. Excuse me. One each day for 9 days. And then Pierre dug a well to the water table and slipped the brick slowly to the bottom, just like the brick soaks up water so the man will swell. That was chapter 3. Man, they on some stuff up in that, man. Oh, Pierre. Ooh, gotta watch a man named Pierre. Pierre on that humbug. Chapter 4. Pierre just doing stuff. I don't like him. Witch beef. Witch beef. Pierre got witch beef. Pierre ain't got no power. I seen him. He can't do nothing. Go get me a brick. Hide the brick. I heard chapter 4. I heard of Father Watson, the frizzly rooster from afar, from people from whom he had worked and their friends, and from people who attended his meetings held twice a week in Myrtle Wreath Hall in New Orleans. His name was Father Watson, which in itself attests his Catholic leanings, though he is formally a Protestant. My bad. On a given night, I had a front seat in his hall. There were the usual camp followers sitting upon the platform and bustling around performing choirs. Did you answer it? Yes, sir. Sir, go. Okay, you know how to turn it back on and go ahead and call him. All right. You ain't gonna be able to do it. Go in the room and do it. On a given night, I had a front seat in his hall. There were the usual camp followers sitting upon the platform and bustling around performing choirs. 2 or 3 songs and a prayer were the preliminaries. At last, Father Watson appeared in a satin garment of royal purple, belted by a gold cord. He had the figure for wearing that sort of thing, and he probably knew it. His swag. Between prayers and songs, he talked, setting forth his powers. He could curse anybody he wished and make the curse stick. He could remove curses, no matter who had laid them in whom. Hence his title, the Frizzly Rooster. Many persons kept a frizzled chicken in the yard to locate and scratch up any hoodoo that may be buried for them. These chickens have, no doubt, earned this reputation by their ugly appearance, with all of their feathers setting backwards. He could read anybody at sight. He could read anyone who remained out of his sight if they but stuck 2 fingers inside the dough. He could read anyone, no matter how far away. If he were given their height and color, he begged to be challenged. Give me the challenge. He predicted the hour and the minute, 19 years hence, when he should die, without even having ill a moment in his whole life. God had told him. He sold some small packet of love powders. For whose powers all opposition must break down. He announced some new keys that were guaranteed to unlock every door and remove every obstacle in the way of success that the world knew. These keys had been sent to him by God through a small Jew boy. The old keys had been sent through a Jew man. They were powerful as long as they did not touch the floor. But if you ever dropped them, they lost their power. These new keys at $5 each were not affected by being dropped and were otherwise much more powerful. I lingered after the meeting and made an appointment with him for the next day at his home. Before my first interview with the Frizzle Rooster was fairly begun, I could understand his great following. He had the physique of Paul Robeson with the sex appeal and hypnotic, whatever you might want to call it, of Rasputin. I could see that women would rise to flee from him, but in mid-flight would whirl and end shivering at his feet. It was that way, in fact. His wife, Mary, knew how slight her hold was and continually planned to leave him. Only thing that's holding me here is this. She pointed to that large piece of brain coral that was forever in a holy spot on the altar. That's where his power is. If I could get a piece, I could go start up a business all by myself. And if I can only find a piece, It's very plentiful down in South Florida, I told her. But if that piece is so precious and you're his wife, I'd take it and let him get another piece. Oh my God, no. That would be my end. He's too powerful. I'm leaving him, she whispered this stealthily. You get me a piece of that, you know. The frizzly rooster entered that Mary was a different person at once. But every time that she was alone with me, it was that on the altar, you know, when you back in Florida, get me a piece. I'm leaving this man to his woman, to his women. Then a quick hush and forced laughter at her husband's approach. So I became the pupil of Reverend Father Joe Watson, the frizzly rooster, and his wife Mary, who assisted him in all things. She was round the altar, that is, while he talked with the clients, and usually decided on whatever work was to be done. She set the things on the altar and in the jars. There was one jar in the kitchen filled with honey and sugar. All the sweet works were set in this jar. That is, the names of the things desired were written on paper and thrust into the jar to stay. Already 400 and 500 slips of paper had accumulated in the jar. There was another jar called the breakup jar. It held vinegar with some unsweetened coffee added. Papers were left in this one also. When finally it was agreed that I should come to the study with them, I was put to running errands such as dusting houses. Throwing pecans, rolling apples, as the case may be, but I was not told why the things was being done. And after 2 weeks of this, I was taken off this phase and initiated. This was the first step towards the door of the mysteries. My initiation consisted of the pea vine candle drill. I was told to remain 5 days without sexual intercourse. I must remain indoors all day the day before the initiation and fast. I might wet my throat when necessary, but I was not to swallow water. When I arrived at the house the next morning, a little before 9, as per instructions, 6 other people were there. So that there were 9 of us, all in white except Father Watson, who was in his purple robe. There was no talking. We went at once to the altar room. The altar was blazing. There were 3 candles around the vessel of holy water, 3 around the sacred sand pail, and 1 large cream candle burning in it. A picture of St. George and a large piece of brain coral were in the center. And Father Watson dressed 8 long blue candles and white black one, while the rest of us sat in the chairs around the wall. Then he lit the 8 blue candles one by one from the altar and set them in the pattern of the moving serpent. Then I was called to the altar by both Father Watson and his wife, laid hands on me. The black candle was placed in my hand. I was told to light it from all the other candles. I lit it at number 1 and pinched out the flame, and relit it at number 2, and so on till it had been lit by the 8th candle. Then I held the candle in my left hand, and by my right was conducted back to the altar by Father Watson. I was led through the maze of candles beginning at number 8. We circled number 7, 5, and 3. When we reached the altar, he lifted me upon the step, and as I stood there, he called aloud, "Spirit! She's standing here without no home and no friends. She wants you to take her in." Then we began at number 1 and threaded back to number 8, circling 3, 5, and 7. Then back to the altar again. Again he lifted me and placed me upon the step of the altar. Again the Spirit was addressed as before. Then he lifted me down by placing his hands on my armpits. This time I did not walk at all. I was carried through the maze, and I was to knock down each candle as I passed it with my foot. If I missed one, I was not to try again, but to knock it down on the way back to the altar. Arrived there the third time, I was lifted up and told to pinch out my black candle. Now, Father told me, you are made boss of candles. You have the power to light candles and put out candles and to work with the spirits anywhere on earth. Then all, excuse me, let me see, about 2 pages, 3 pages left. Then all the candles on the floor were collected, and one of them handed to each of the persons present. Father took the black candle himself, and we formed a ring. Everybody was given 2 matches each. The candles were held in our left hands, matches in the right. At a signal, everybody stooped at the same moment. The matches scratched in perfect time, and our candle lighted in concert. Then Father Watson walked rhythmically around the person that is right, exchanged candles with her, and went back to his place. Then the person did the same to the next, so that the black candle went all around. So I was then seated on a stool before the altar, sprinkled lightly with holy sand and water, and confirmed as the boss of oh, man. Then conversation broke out. We went into the next room and had a breakfast that was mostly fruit and smothered chicken. Afterwards, the 9 candles used in the ceremony were wrapped up and given to me to keep. They were to be used to light other candles only, not to be just burned in the ordinary sense. And in a few days, I was allowed to hold consultations on my own. I felt insecure and said so to the Father Watson. Of course you do now, he answered me. But you have to learn and grow, and I'm right here behind you. Talk to your people first, then come see me. Within an hour, a woman came to me. A man had shot and seriously wounded her husband and was in jail. But honey, she all but wept. Then they say, ain't a thing gonna be done with him. They say he got good white folks back of him and he's gonna be let loose soon as the case is tried. I want him punished, picking a fuss with my husband just to get chance to shoot him. We needs help. Somebody that can hit it straight lick with a crooked stick. Somebody that can hit a straight lick with a crooked stick. So I went into the Frizzly Rooster to find out what I must do, and he told me that a low fence, he meant a difficulty that was easily overcome. Go back and get $5 from her and tell her to go home and rest easy. That man will be punished. When we get through with him, white folks or no white folks, he'll find a tough jury sitting on his case. The woman paid me and left in perfect confidence with Father Watson. So he and I went into the workroom. Now, he said, when you want a person punished who is already indicted, write his name on a slip of paper and put it into a sugar bowl or some other deep something like that. Now get your paper and pencil and write the name. All right now? You got it in the bowl? Now put in some red pepper, some black pepper. Don't be scared to put it in. It needs a lot. Put in 1 8-penny nail, 15 cents worth of ammonia, and 2 door keys. You drop 1 key down in the bowl and you leave the other one against the side of the bowl. Now you got your bowl set. Go to your bowl every day at 12 o'clock and turn the key that is standing against the side of the bowl. That is to keep the man locked in jail. Now, I know this will do the job. All it needs is for you to do in faith. I'm trusting this job to you entirely. Let's see what you're going to do. That can wait another minute. Come sit with me in the outside room and hear this woman here that wait. So we went outside and found a weakish woman in her early 30s that looked like somebody had dropped a sack of something soft on a chair. And the frizzle rooster put on this manner, looking like a brown, purple, and gold throne angel in his house. Good morning, Sister Murchison. She helped out. Tell us how you want to be helped, Sister Murchison. She looked at me as if I was in the way, and he read her eyes. She's all right, dear one. She's one of us. I brought her in with me to assist and help. I thought still I was in her way, but she told her business just the same. Too many women in my house. My husband's mother is there, and she hates me and always put my husband up to fight me. Look like I can't get her out of my house no ways I try, so I done come to you. We can fix that up in no time, my dear one. Now, get 2 flat onion. Now, go take a flat onion. If it was a man, I'd say a sharp pointed onion. Core the onion out and write her name 5 times on paper and stuff it into a hole in the onion and close it back with the cut out piece of onion. Now you watch when when she leaves the house, and then you roll the onion behind her before anybody else crosses the door sill. And you make a wish at the same time for her to leave your house. She won't be there 2 weeks more. The woman paid and left. That night, we held a ceremony in the altar room on the case. We took a red candle and burned it just enough to consume the tip. Then it was cut into 3 parts, and the short lengths of candle were put into the glass of holy water. Then we took the glass and went at midnight to the door of the woman's house, and the frizzle rooster held the glass in his hand and said, in the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, in the name of the Holy Ghost. He shook the glass 3 times violently up and down. And the last time he threw the glass to the ground and broke it and said, dismiss this woman from this place. We scarcely paused as this was said and done, and we kept going and went home by another way because that was part of the ceremony. Somebody came against a very popular preacher. He's getting too rich and big. I want something done to keep him down. They tell me he's about to get to be a bishop. I sure would hate for that to happen. I got $40 in my pocket right now for the work. So that night, the altar blazed with the blue light. We wrote the preacher's name on a slip of paper with black ink. We took the small doll and ripped open its back and put in the paper with the name along with some bitter aloes and cayenne pepper and sewed it right up again with the black thread. The hands of the doll were tied behind it, and a black veil tied over the face and knotted behind it so that the man it represented would be blind and always do the things to keep himself from progressing. The doll was then placed on a kneeling position in a dark corner where it would not be disturbed. He would be frustrated as long as the doll was not disturbed. When several of my jobs had turned out satisfactorily to Father Watson, he said to me, you will do well, but you need the black cat bone. Sometimes you have to be able to walk invisible. Some things must be done in deep secret, so you have to walk out of sight of man. First, I have to get ready even to try this most terrible of experiences, getting the black cat bone. First, we had to wait on the weather. When a big rain started, a new receptacle was set out in the yard. It could not be put out until the rain actually started for fear the sun might shine in it. The water must be brought inside before the weather fared off for the same reason. If lightning shone in it, it was ruined. We finally got the water for the bath, and I had to fast and seek, shut in a room that had been purged by smoke, 24 hours without food except the special wine that was fed to me every 4 hours. It did not make me drunk in the accepted sense of the word. I merely seemed to lose my body. My mind seemed very clear. When dark came, we went out to catch a black cat. I must catch him with my own hands. Finding and catching black cats is hard work unless one has been released for you to find. Then we were prepared to be prepared, placed in the woods in a circle drawn and protected with 9 horseshoes. When the fire and the pit were made ready, a roomy iron pot with a lid. When the water boiled, I was to toss in the terrified, trembling cat. When he screamed, I was told to curse him. He screamed 3 times, the last time, weak and resigned. Lid was clamped down. The fire kept vigorously alive. At midnight, the lid was lifted. Here was the moment. The bones of the cat must be passed through my mouth until one tasted bitter. Suddenly, the rooster, and Mary rushed in close to the pot, and he cried, "Look out! This is liable to kill you. Hold your nerve." They both looked fearfully around the circle. They communicated some unearthly terror to me. Maybe I went off in a trance. Great beast-like creatures thundered up to the circle from all sides. Indescribable noises, sights, feelings. Death was at hand, seemed unavoidable. I don't know. Many times I have thought and felt, but I always have to say the same thing. I don't know. I don't know. Before day, I was home with a small white bone for me to carry. Man, and that was chapter 2. My bad. Chapter 4. That was chapter 3 and chapter 4 of Mules and Men by Miss Zora Neale Hurston. Zora Neale Hurston, man, they got some stuff going up there. These hoodoo rituals. Miss Zora is in for some stuff, man. She is on a ride. She is on a ride. Yeah, we're gonna come back tomorrow morning. I was up to like 5:30 in the morning down carving, so hey, I was not on my regular time schedule. After I read, we're gonna get to painting tonight. I'll get to paint and start painting or whatnot. But I wanted to make sure that I got chapters 3 and 4 out the way. I wanted to make sure I got 3 and 4 out the way. Tomorrow we will read 5 and 6 for sure. 5 and 6 for sure. And depend on, man, it really depends on how it goes, because I'm 44 minutes in right now. 5 and 6 are fairly short, so I might just finish off and read, or at least read 5, 6, and 7 tomorrow morning. Read 5, 6, and 7 tomorrow morning, and then I'll probably come back the night and read the like some of the hoodoo stuff, some of the hoodoo formulas. I'll probably read through some of the formulas and read the afterward. Yeah, read the formulas and the afterward, and that'll be done with the book. We can finish the book tomorrow. We should be able to finish we could finish the book tomorrow. Honestly. We can finish it tonight if I wanted to push through, but I don't feel like it. Honestly. I don't feel like it right now. I might come back later though Hey, if I feel like it. If I'm up, man, I'll come back later on tonight and read chapters 5 and 6. 5, 6, and 7. I'll get that done in an hour. I believe I get that done in an hour. My bad. I'm reading some of these. I'm looking at this glossary. It has a glossary with some of the terms. Blue baby, John Henry, long house, Georgia skin game. I wish I could read music too. Reading music would help. It would help because I would love to know how some of these old songs. Maybe I could pause it and maybe somebody can read it. I would love to know how these old songs go. I would like to hear them. Have a jigging. Hey, but so far so good, man. We push on. We're at the end of the book, man. We are at the end of the book. Look how much we got left to read. Look how much. That ain't nothing. That ain't nothing. We're going to move through that, baby. We're going to move through that easy. Yeah, we finish this thing tomorrow. And now another book been stepped on. And we'll go ahead and once I finish this tomorrow, man, we can go ahead and get to my partner asked Neale book, Who Blessed You? Who Blessed You? We'll go ahead and read that one for sure. It definitely changed the pace. Shouldn't be no country talk in that one, so we should be able to read through it a lot smoother and quicker. We'll see. But man, we could keep pushing, man. One book at a time, one session at a time, one chapter at a time, one section at a time, man. One page at a time, one paragraph at a time, one here a little, there a little, line upon line, man. Until we see what we can learn and grow from these books, man. So I can do my part by ending the world and reading. You know, since that seems to be my superpower, people think. Mr. I'll read. I'm gonna read it. Yeah, I don't know. My phone. Anyway. Yeah, I appreciate everybody that stopped by tonight. Appreciate everybody that left a comment. You know, and man, we'll keep pushing. Man. SHILO. I'm out here. Shalom, everybody. I hope y'all have a wonderful night. And I'll see you the next session of Reading with SHILO. When we come back and finish off the book. We out here. Shalom.